2025 recruiting class, 6'2", 4-star cornerback Gregory Xavier Thomas. Thomas, the number 17 safety in the class of 2025, joins 4-star defensive lineman Kevin Wynn and 4-star wide receiver CJ Wiley, along with 4-star defensive lineman Myron Charles and tight end Chase Lofting. Florida Gators basketball seals their roster, signing 6'1" Slovenian guard Urban Klavza, a 42.7% three-point shooter. It's 91 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time. What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses, and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Oh, yes. Short work week, barbecue, Independence Day. All of it's in front of you. Welcome into XL Primetime. Most of your Monday's gone, but we still got plenty for you. A Mocama Beer Company Monday right here on the Superstation. Thanks to Mocama. They are up there in beautiful Fernandina Beach. In fact, a couple of Nassau County locations, South 8th Street, just as you're heading into the historic area, and then Wildlight as well. Check out Mocama. We'll be bragging on them all day today. So welcome in, fellas. We've got a weekend to look back on. We've got an Independence Day to look forward to. I had to do a little bit of getting ready for the barbecue on the 4th of July. How much work do people put in to the 4th of July parties? Or just somebody says, you know what? Let's just make some dogs and burgers and let's just party.
Dogs and burgers.
Dogs and burgers. I get it. Well,
bro, you got to graduate. It's more than dogs and burgers.
Listen, I just like the barbecuing so much. Mm-hmm. I can't help it.
Get some quarters. They're cheap. They're on sale.
Well, they're good too.
Get a little pork butt. Throw that thing on there for
Listen,
about
Matt Hayes,
8 hours.
He's a pork snob.
Yeah,
he cooks so good meat. The meat he cooks, he prepares it and smokes it long, and 6 hours here and a couple of drinks there. That's the Matt Hayes way.
And he does take a long time. The process takes a long time. So look, I've always been gas over charcoal, and I get chastised for that anyway because they don't think that's real barbecue. You know, the smoke snobs like this right here. They don't think that's real barbecue.
I use wood.
But listen, everything I've had, I've loved. You know what I mean? It's been delicious. I still get my wood chips and I crank them up and get a little flame going. That's really all I need. And the grills that I have, since I'm about a half mile from the beach, I wear them out anyway. I don't need to buy an expensive grill.
Now, how's that working out? You're still working on the grill?
Hey, you got all kind of gas things
going on. Fireplace.
All I got's like this little Weber kettle. That's all. It works every time, man.
Well, every time. I've got I don't know what my square inch space is on my grill. I'm not quite sure, but I got 6 burners. I can just tell you
See?
that. I got 6 burners.
6 burners.
I got 6 burners. I got the searing, and I got the rotisserie, and I've got the little side burner that you can put some sauce on there and keep it warm.
You know what I got? A kettle.
Yeah, well, listen, and by the way, like Leon just said, it ain't like you don't succeed in the game of barbecue because you can cook some great stuff, that's for sure. Matter of fact, tomorrow, our July 4th cook-off, right here at 1010XL, and people are bringing in, we've solicited our XL Primetime fans, the rest of the shows have done the same thing, and we got thrown into the rib category, which, I don't think we shy away from a challenge. We're not scared of competition. Leon, you scared?
Not at all.
You ain't scared?
No, not at all.
No, Matt,
I'm looking forward to it. Matter of fact, I don't think they should have put us in the rib competition.
Right. You're just asking to lose.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because we know a thing or two about barbecue and ribs, and we also know a few people who are really good at barbecue and ribs. So we put the shout out just to try and get some of those, like the barbecue and a handful of other guys. They definitely wanted to be part of it. But I'll just tell you this much. Tomorrow, one of those judges is going to enjoy some incredible barbecue.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Some great slow-smoked ribs. And
we're not explaining who it is because they'll all find out tomorrow.
Yeah,
okay?
it'll include a special guest. I'll just put it to you that way. All right, so we got some stuff to get into today. It's a short work week, but coming out of the weekend, there's still some football stuff that we can tie back to your Jacksonville Jaguars so you guys can jump in on this and have a little conversation. You can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. You can also go to YouTube, and all you got to do is punch in XL Primetime or 1010XL. You can stream us there any time of the day. You can find XL Primetime. So the entire offseason for your Jacksonville Jaguars, we've covered it a bunch of different ways, but one of the main things is, what the H happened the last half dozen games where they only won one football game. We wrapped up our show last week with that Shad Khan piece that Mike Duraco did with ESPN saying it was an organizational fail. And he didn't shy away from that. But he said a couple of other things that were really, really interesting that we're going to kind of keep it going. But over the weekend, one of the guys that we all know here in Duval was targeted by maybe trading for him was Brandon Ayuk. Was he not a big talking topic?
He was, yes.
And why? Because this team was in a position to where they needed to figure out how to have a deep threat and score more points, and they lost Calvin Ridley.
Yeah. Well, using Calvin Ridley. Well, not spending the money that the Titans spent on Calvin Ridley, the reason why we lost him. But, yeah, Brandon Ayuk was a commodity. He's a proven commodity. And the question before the draft is, should we make a move for him? What is it going to cost us to get him? And are we prepared to pay him once we get him? But we went the other direction. We went and got us Brian Thomas in the first round. And, Ayuk just became an afterthought.
Right.
So I'm always with the notion that you got to go with the proven commodity. Nothing against Brian Thomas, but in that situation when you got a guy who's a not perennial All-Pro, but he's ascending.
Right.
Should be an All-Pro. One of the maybe top, I would say top 10 wide receivers in the NFL. You've got to bring that guy. He's going to you would have been giving Trevor another weapon, a weapon that could have helped him in the end, but it didn't work out that way. We went with Brian Thomas, and we're hoping the decision not to sign Calvin Ridley and not going after Ayuk, that Brian Thomas proves us right, not wrong.
It is interesting what you just said. You said top 10. I raised
12.
I raised my eyebrow because he easily could be ascending into one of those positions, especially on the team that he's on. But that's an interesting debate.
I tell you what, he's in the room. He's not at the table.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah, because, look, we know who's
who's sitting at the table.
The Justin Jeffersons.
Jamar Chase.
The Jamar Chases. You can go down the line with the Tyreeks and a few other guys that have just been really, really productive over a number of years. And this is not to say that Brandon Ayuk hasn't been. But let's keep the conversation going, Matt, because over the weekend, he's been stumping to get out of San Francisco, has he not?
For months.
Yeah.
Months, okay? For months he's been trying to get out of San Francisco on another team. He went on TikTok with Jaden Daniels and says, they don't want me, bro. They don't want me.
Right. And set that up where it could be taped on social media so it could get out.
Right. So it's very clear what he has wanted, but now it's also very clear, and now as the calendar hits July and we're 2 or 3 weeks away from less than 3 weeks away from training camp, and it's clear now that no one's going to trade for him or no one wants to give the Niners what they want.
Yeah, at least right now.
He's now in a situation of, all right, this is my prove-it year. Do I want to go into this year? And if I get injured, then what? Mm-hmm. So he's starting to panic a little bit. So he wants his contract. Now he's saying, I want a contract. I want to play for them. My whole thing was this, and I'm not saying that Brian Thomas Jr. is not going to be a terrific player for the Jaguars. I have no idea. I don't think any of us do. It's hope.
Right.
Right? And I always say, Joe.
Right. It's not a plan.
Not a plan.
But I will say this. It's a philosophical decision by them is what it was. It was a philosophical decision for them to not give the Niners what they wanted and instead go in the draft and get a guy in the first round. My whole thing is this. If Brian Thomas is not what Calvin Ridley was or Brandon Ayuk was, that's a problem.
It is.
That's a big problem. That's a personnel move. That is a bad decision. So, and again, we've said this over and over and over that the idea right now is to put every piece possible around Trevor Lawrence to give him every possible advantage to have as much success as he can to reach his ceiling and to lift the franchise higher than it's ever been. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. I'm not saying that Brian Thomas is not going to be a great player. Brian Thomas may go out and have 75 catches and 10 touchdowns, and great. There you go. They made the right decision. Mm-hmm. If he's a guy that struggles and he has 40-something catches and what the history of first-round picks and wide receivers of this franchise has been, then you start to have to look at it like, all right, that's their philosophy of what they wanted to do didn't work. Mm-hmm. Just like the philosophy last season of not getting an extra pass rusher didn't work.
Yeah, that I get. I think the biggest thing here, and I agree, the whole idea is that surround 16 with firepower and as much ammo as you possibly can have to attack. I get all that. But at the same time, the one thing that Shad Khan has pointed out, and correctly so, is that this team spends way too much money in free agency because they're not any good at drafting. Mm-hmm. Okay? They are forced to spend money in free agency. And this isn't just a Trent Baalke situation or Trent Baalke problem. This was a Dave Caldwell problem. This was a go back in time and a Shaq problem, certainly a Gene Smith problem. Anyway, they have spent a lot of money, the proverbial throwing money at a problem instead of drafting a guy.
More than most teams in the NFL, by the way, right?
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that if you go and get Brandon Ayuk, Leon, you not only give up a precious piece of draft capital, you got to pay the man instantly. And so I do get the proven commodity idea, but holy cow, man, they have got to figure out a way to succeed through the draft instead of going and buying.
That's true. And I mean, if you want Brandon Ayuk if you want Brian Thomas to be Brandon Ayuk, I mean, you're talking about the guy 75 catches, 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns. Is Brian Thomas? I mean, is he in that elite receiver? Because you told me that.
I don't know.
You told me that the elite receivers went up in like the top 10, and Brian Thomas wasn't a stretch, but he probably went where he was supposed to.
All right, so Casey, here it is.
And I'm not saying Brian Thomas is not going to be an elite receiver, but all I'm saying to you is you look at their receiving core right now. Christian Kirk, free agent. Evan Ingram, free agent. Gabe Davis, free agent. I understand the idea of like developing, but you've nailed on those 3 free agent signings right there, wide receiver. If you just trust yourself one more time with Brandon Ayuk, then look what you've got.
Yeah, you've
got an ascending player who has experience in the league. That's my only point. And I'm not, again, if Brian Thomas hits, that's fantastic.
Right.
It's a philosophical decision. They chose to draft instead of signing him.
And I don't even think it's a philosophical. You better figure it out in the draft or you're going to be in trouble because you're never, ever going to get it right. But this is what you're talking about. This is the appetizing highlight that you want to hear. Casey, roll it.
Gardner Johnson in for Joseph, who leaves. Here's Purdy with a lot of time. Steps into one. Launching deep, going for Brandon Ayuk. It is. Oh, he caught it off the ricochet. Penalty. Is he in? He's down to the 5. We'll see what the penalty is. What a play from Ayuk. We'll see if it stands.
I'll tell you what. This is the best play they've made all day. And, man, Kendall Vindor, he had one. It hit him right in the face mask. And then, man, give credit there to Brandon Ayuk just staying with the play.
Yeah, it stood. There's no doubt about it. So he had over 1,300 yards, 17, nearly 18 yards average per catch. Only got in the end zone 7 times. But as you said, Leon, hauled in 75 balls. And for his career, he's close to 270 grabs, close to 4,000 total yards, averaging 14.5 yards per catch, and has been in the end zone 25 times. And so he is ready to cash in. There ain't no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Whoever gets him, or if the 49ers keep him, they're going to have to pay him big
Now,
time.
don't get me wrong. Brian Thomas played in the big boy league. The SEC is the king.
Had a great year last year.
Had a great year last year,
And
absolutely.
even half of 22 had a great year, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
About a year and a half.
But you got to also take in consideration the fact that Brandon Ayuk has played big ball in big games that matter. Yeah. All right, so that carries a lot of weight.
Proven
games.
Proven commodity.
We're talking about divisional round, championship round, Super Bowl round. I mean, so he brings all that mystique, all that experience in the big, which means that in the big, when it's time to shine the most, he doesn't shrink under the pressure because he's proven. That's when we say proven commodity. We're not only talking about as far as his days in the league. We're talking about the fact that this guy has played in playoff games and played in divisional championships and Super Bowls. So when you bring that kind of experience into the locker room, man, you're done. I mean, that's all she wrote.
Yeah. And you go back and you take a look at the Christian Kirk money, and right now it seems like a bargain compared to what some of these guys are getting, but it was a 4-year, $72 million deal at the time. It was pretty dang big. And he has proven that he is a guy that they can rely on. May not be that 100% deep threat number one alpha dog, but he is a guy that absolutely has
he's earned it.
produced.
He's absolutely earned it.
He's produced. There's no
100%.
question.
He's a good player.
My only point with that is that they went on top of the Christian Kirk deal and they went and got Calvin to be that alpha dog.
To be fair, they had nothing before they got any of them.
Yeah.
Like literally nothing.
Yeah.
So they had to do something.
Yeah. Well, Christian, like you said, the year before Christian Kirk was good.
I mean, DJ Chark was their best receiver prior to that, and I don't think he's still in the league, is he?
He's bumping around. He might be with Carolina right now. But they went and got Calvin after, or made the deal after they spent all that money on Christian Kirk. So they knew they were still trying to add to the room.
What's interesting is that what if the Jaguars, because Trevor was negotiating his contract, what if that was one of the hey, Trevor, we're going to make a move at Ayuk, or would you willing to take a discount or not?
Well, as the numbers suggest, he was willing to help the team. Okay, he was willing to help the team, and so I do think that's a nice. Guys get criticized for not getting the max, and he still went to the top of the quarterback pay charts. But the way things were structured, it doesn't hit the salary cap as much as other contracts that are out there, and he was helping his team in some respects as far as that.
Let me just do this real quick, okay? In 2021, before they jumped in the free agency market and got Christian Kirk, their receivers were Marvin Jones, Laviska Shenault, Laquan Treadwell.
Oh, it was awful.
Jamal Agnew, Tavon Austin, DJ Chark. They were god-awful.
It was awful, with apologies to Marvin Jones Jr., because, I love Marvin, but he was the best of the bunch, and he had just barely walked into Duval County. But, oh, my gosh, yes, it was terrible. Do you know how
Chark
many...
got hurt, the second game of the season or something?
Do you know how many 1,000-yard receivers this football team has had in the 29 years that they've been around? They're celebrating 30 years now.
Different guys, you mean? How many different guys?
Different guys.
4.
No, more than that.
More than 4?
It
6.
ain't much more,
6.
but here's the total. Okay, they have had a total of 18,000-yard seasons.
Right.
Okay. But most of them, of course, have been eaten up by the great Jimmy Smith, Keenan McCardell. Anyway, the bottom line is you're talking barely 8 that have had 1,000-yard seasons receiving for this football franchise.
Who are the 8?
You could go through. Let me just pull it back up here. You have Alan Hearns,
obviously.
Allen Robinson,
right.
You have Keenan. You have Jimmy. Let me just go back and pull this up here real quick. It is just nuts how few there are that have been able to do it. I lost it here for 1 second. But that's it. 18 total seasons of productivity from that receiving game, and then just so few beyond that have been memorable. Guys that have gotten second contracts, we know how few and far between those guys are. But yeah, it's been a position of great need. And so that's why let's just get back to the Ayuk part of this.
And by the way, they've never drafted a guy in the first round, a wide receiver, and he signed a second contract.
Right.
Never.
Because it was a Matt Jones, it was a Reggie Williams, it was an R.J. Soward. You can go down the line with the guys.
That's the history you're running up against right there.
Yeah, it's no bueno. And so now you're hoping that they're going to get to a point where they're investing in players and they're getting guys that will make immediate impact. And that's what they're banking on. Okay, look, you cannot guarantee any draft pick is going to pay off. You can't. You can't do that with the number 1 overall pick. You certainly can't do that with Mr. Irrelevant. But number 1 has paved a pretty good way here, and then Mr. Irrelevant's done pretty well out in San Francisco. So there's no guarantee, but they need to make sure that they pay attention to one of the most important elements of this offense, which is what you said. Arm Trevor with weapons. And they needed a guy that was cat quick with size that could take a defense and send them south down the field where they can open things up for the pass.
I mean, if you're spending $275 million on a cat, you're going to do everything you can to help him out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
And again, I'm going to say this again because I don't want anyone to think I'm running down Brian Thomas because I'm not. I think he could be a very good player. It's a philosophical decision by them. They decided they were going to draft. But it was weird to me that was the decision when the recent history of what these two guys have done, Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke, has been success picking free agents and put them in the passing game and watching them flourish.
Yeah.
So you've had success in grabbing these guys that were not necessarily elite guys. Christian Kirk wasn't elite. Zay Jones wasn't elite.
No.
Evan Ingram, people were saying he was out of the league in a couple years if he didn't turn it around. All three of those guys nailed. All three of them.
Yeah, they were questioning his ability to make big plays, find Pro Bowl form, be a solid tight end that didn't cough up the football, all those things. He's being second-guessed to death up there in New York. And he comes down here, holds onto the football pretty dang well, and obviously made 2 solid years. One that got him a nice deal, got him tagged, got him a nice long-term deal, and then he followed that with a pretty hefty catch schedule this past year. All right, so 641-1010, if you guys want to jump in. I know this is an unanswerable question right now, but do you feel better about not being in the Brandon Ayuk sweepstakes now that you do have Brian Thomas, or do you still think they are missing that legitimate guy that can take the top off of the defense and make plays? Nearly 4,000 yards from Brandon Ayuk, and a guy that has definitely been able to produce some results, that's for sure. All right, so we'll keep it going with the Jag talk, but we also have to welcome some people into the neighborhood. We'll tell you what we're talking about coming up. We got to welcome some people into the neighborhood next. It's a Mocama Beer Company Monday. If you want to head up to the neighborhood, that is the Dina, Fernandina, right there as you enter the historic area. Look for beautiful tap room right there waiting for you with Mocama Beer Company on South 8th Street, and then also the Wildlight location. And if you are just craving some of that delicious craft, you can head on to ABC or Total Wine and you can pick up some delicious Mocama. Make sure you check them out, serving great craft Tuesday through Sunday and coffee every single day at Mocama.
Everyone wants to doubt Jacksonville. Never doubt Jacksonville.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
It seems to me that what you folks need is a hero.
Yeah?
I happen to be a hero.
And who are you? 1010XL.
We need a professional hero, not an amateur.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I have exciting news from Leonard Truck Outfitters, now with 2 great locations to get that truck hooked up. Beach Boulevard just past Southside and one on Blanding. I got my truck taken care of, and you should too. Leonard Truck Outfitters, your truck, your style.
The humidity may be rising, but the prices are dropping at Beard's Diamonds.
It's Christmas in July. Everything store-wide is on sale up to an unbelievable 40% off.
Don't shop anywhere until you shop Beard's Diamonds.
At the St. John's Town Center.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Summer's here, so let's talk about something sizzling. Making it Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crisp, savory goodness. Well, it's on the menu at Awaken 180, and one of the many reasons why I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180 weight loss. I did it all while still enjoying so many of my favorite foods. The difference is, my coach showed me how to enjoy those foods the right way. Chicken, steak, pork, lobster, they're all on the menu. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile. Vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, even flexitarian. I'm not kidding, that's a thing. They're all covered. The bottom line, if you want to lose weight fast and safe and keep it off with lifetime coaching, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Do what I did, and Mike Dempsey and Hacker, and more than 21,000 others have done. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
are good at hiding. Captain Kevin can help you find them.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Find more fish on the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show.
Thursday nights at 6.
Brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss on 1010XL AM.
Duck Duck Rooter is a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and we are looking for top talent to join our team. If you are a plumber, CDL driver, or have experience installing septic drain fields, come join Duck Duck Rooter and let's win together. We offer our players a full package that includes excellent weekly pay, paid holidays, health insurance, and new state-of-the-art equipment. Log on to DuckDuckRooter.com and click on the careers page to apply. That's DuckDuckRooter.com. Duck Duck Rooter is an equal opportunity employer.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. You know, I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Then goal from just outside the 10 after the 5-yard penalty. Play action pass. Out in space. Robinson inside the 5 and into the end zone for the Texas touchdown.
Well, get used to it, people. That is part of your college football world. It is July 1st, and it's time to welcome some newbies into the neighborhood. New kids on the block, the SEC, the Big 10, the Big 12, the ACC. That's the Any Coast Conference or All Coast Conference as they welcomed in SMU, Cal, and Stanford into the fold. But now you have Texas and Oklahoma officially coming into the SEC, and the Big 10 welcoming 4 new members. USC, Washington, UCLA, and the Ducks.
We're going to use this music, by the way, the entire season for the SEC, no matter what the Big Ten does with it.
I don't know. I think the Big Ten's going to try and fool you into hearing that and be hypnotized and keep watching, even though it will not be the SEC.
It's a big, big day, I think, for the SEC, but I think more so for Texas and Oklahoma, but for Texas specifically because Texas is, whether you like it or not, Texas is the brand in college sports. They have the biggest budget in college sports. They spend more money than anybody. They should, by all rights, dominate in many, many, many sports, which they do in some, but not in high-profile ones. And
I'll immediately argue they're not the brand if they don't win anything.
They're like the Cowboys. They're literally like the Dallas Cowboys.
So
same thing.
Yeah, great
100%.
comparison.
So, and the odd thing is Texas and Oklahoma are coming into the league, and Oklahoma has dominated Texas since they've been in the Big 12. Just literally dominated them. I think the numbers are like 13-6 or something like that in games, and they even beat them in the Big 12 championship game. So it's odd that the focus is all on Texas because of the brand. But the better program, football definitely, is Oklahoma. Over the long haul is Oklahoma.
Well, they've won a natty in the 21st century. So
they've also won like 12. I don't know how many Big 12 titles, 12 or something.
Now, I know Texas did as well, so both of these teams do have national championships in the 21st century, but it does seem like Texas is far, far removed from Vince Young's run against Southern Cal. And even though Oklahoma's never made it to the national championship game in the college football playoff, they've at least made it to the Final Four a bunch.
Well, listen, last year Texas proved, not official, but unofficially, they went into the SEC, went into Bama. They didn't go into Bama, or Bama came to them?
They went into Bama.
They went into Bama and won the game. So this question mark, if they can play big boy ball, ain't nobody scared of the SEC. I know how much y'all adore them and adorn them, which they are, the Super Conference. But they went in there and won.
I feel like this has Miami not going to be left out ring to it.
It does. We had this production meeting earlier. The hell with both of them if they don't want us.
I don't know what's going to happen with the Miamis and the Florida States. Really, the ACC marquee flagship programs, however you want to describe them. North Carolina is not a flagship football program, but they are a flagship program. Miami, great football history, but hasn't done enough of late. But yeah, the market, I think any conference would love to have the Miami market. It's just a matter of whether or not that football team can get it back. But back to the Texas and Oklahoma coming in, and then the other ones coming into the Big 10, it's basically already been official for the Big 12, correct?
Yeah, I mean, it's official for everyone, actually. Today is the first day of the new calendar year, July 1, so everybody's now in their new conferences.
Yeah, and so if you're just taking a look at how everything's going to massively
including Cal,
change.
Stanford, and SMU with the ACC.
Yeah, oh yeah, believe me.
That makes you feel good, Leon.
Yeah, it feels real good. Nice, cozy inside.
They're going to have to call it the, like with SMU somewhere in the Dallas area, they were going to try and take some credit for at least bringing something good back to the Dallas area because, as we said, Longhorns haven't done a whole lot.
Now, you laugh now. SMU has some money now. That Dallas, they absolutely have some money. I think the first 2 years, they're not even taking any money?
First 4 years, I think
First 4 years. It was $37 million annually that they were missing out on. And at least according to, like, one of our diehard primetimers, SMU Dave's like, because they just did a little capital campaign, and they went and raised those dollars like it was nothing.
Oh, yeah.
And so, yeah, that's some old oil money. And look, Texas A&M, SMU, any of those schools, especially in the Lone Star State, they are just chock full of oil wells and bank accounts.
True.
David Miller's like their huge booster, and he's...
Say that again?
I don't know if it's Miller. It's David something. He's like their huge booster, and he's the guy that basically went around and got the money and said, look, we're so desperate to get into this Power 5 situation, which is now Power 4. We'll just give it up. We'll give up the meteorites because we have the money right here.
So he was the T-Boone
essentially
of SMU.
Essentially. And honestly, they did it to get in because they got posed by Texas and Baylor and Texas Tech when the Big 12 formed because they didn't want SMU in because they didn't want to have to recruit against SMU in the Dallas area. Right. And because of SMU's history of what they do in recruiting. I'm not saying it's going on now, but they had problems with cheating when recruiting, obviously, with the death penalty that they were given there in the 80s. Yeah. So they didn't want them in, so they got hosed in that, and they were left in the hinterlands for almost 3 decades. More than 3 decades, actually. So now they just went in, and the fact that you now have an actual university in the city of Dallas in a Power 4 conference. And that is, I don't know if you guys have ever been to SMU. It's in Highland Park, which is, I would say, of the suburbs in the country, probably like one of the top 3 wealthiest suburbs in the country.
Oh, Beverly Hills?
It's ridiculous.
Really?
And it's right in the middle of it, and it's big time. There's a lot of money there, a lot of money in SMU.
So whenever we get to this point, like this is at least a point of celebration as far as where we are, but you can just take a look at what teams, like we did our college football playoff, what we envision the 12 will look like once we get to December and the selection committee puts everything together. But man, there is so much to anticipate and look forward to and see whether or not the Texases of the world can get back and actually kick some people to the curb and get to a point where they can play for another natty. Because they made it to the college football playoff this past season. So we got to give Sark a lot of credit for that and the amount of talent that they got coming back. They got a fair amount, man.
I think it's interesting is this is the day where you welcome in the new schools to the new conferences. Expansion's not done. Realignment's not done. There's still a lot going on.
What do you mean expansion's not done? Other than Florida State joining
the
SEC
conferences adding teams, that's expansion. I just don't think
by
it's
definition.
done. I think there's a lot of moving parts right now.
Well, believe me, I told you this, and look, Leon's my witness. As long as we've been arguing about whether or not the grant of rights is going to keep the Florida State Seminoles inside the ACC, I think we've proven that ain't happening. And I do believe that there's still a taker, a suitor, that they're not going to be left hanging out to dry, and they're going to probably end up in a better situation from a football program point of view than maybe people had forecast. I really do.
No, I think if they have to, they'll do somewhat like SMU. Well, they'll take their own money.
Yeah, they'll finance.
They'll go into the Big Ten and they'll do much like what Oregon and Washington had to do, where you're only going to get X amount, a certain percentage for X amount of years, and then you'll get the full deal at X point. And right now, Florida State is not bargaining at a position of strength. They're just trying to get away from the ACC. So they'll go into the Big Ten at whatever deal the Big Ten gives them, and they'll be happy about it. And then they'll be in the Big Ten, which is a lot better than being in the ACC at the end of the day.
What about Miami?
I don't know. What about? I don't know. We're not in a position.
You can say what you said in the production meeting. Go ahead.
I already said it. The hell with both of the conferences. They don't want us. We still got a brand. We haven't had good ball in about two decades, but Miami still is. I mean, we're still a solid brand. I believe so.
I'll tell you one thing to that point. The fact that Florida State has stepped up and had an unbeaten season definitely strengthens their position.
Yeah,
even though they may still have to pay the freight to get out of there, they are much more attractive right now.
Absolutely. When you're winning, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a team that went, 10-2 and undefeated? The last couple of years under Mike Norvell's reign. So, yeah, they look very attractive. Unfortunately for Miami, they've had two disappointing seasons back-to-back. Talking 6-7 and 5-8 or whatever, 5-7. I mean, nobody wants you there,
No,
you can't come in the yard and play when you're looking ugly.
I can tell you this, too. It's also, I mean, he's right. I can tell you this. It's so weird now how realignment and expansion has become prisoners of the moment. Because it used to be, remember when it used to be like television markets? That was the big thing. And then streaming just ended all of that because you can get anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Right.
Now it's just who plays the best ball, what's attractive. Because 5 years ago, Washington is not attractive to the Big Ten. They're just not. 5 years ago, Stanford, David Shaw had them rolling. Stanford's attractive to the Big Ten, especially with that academic profile, okay? It's weird how that's where we are right now. That's why I refuse to believe that Miami will not find a place in this deal when it shakes out, because potentially, with Mario, they could be, in 3 years, we could be talking about, okay, Miami's a powerhouse again. And then what are you going to do? Yeah. I just think that once Florida State gets out of the ACC, once that officially happens, the floodgates are open, because every other school in that league can then say, the grant of rights is not what it was. It's not the same conference. So we went out too.
Oh, believe me. And that's where they can show that they have hurt the overall.
Oh, yeah.
And if they puncture the overall, then the other ones are going to kind of gain.
Like Miami, North Carolina, Duke, Virginia, they should all give Florida State cash for this, because they're puncturing the balloon and the air's going out.
Yeah.
And then they're just going to fall out with the air. Not pay anything.
Off the text line, kick them back out for all I care. Hate this realignment. Look, there probably are a lot of people that are feeling the same way. I think generally speaking, college football fan is going to win this season and beyond, because there's going to be 12 teams playing for a national championship. So I think in the end, it's going to be gravy for a lot of fans compared to what they have had. They're going to enjoy it. But the chatter of realignment, who plays who, killing off traditions, the divisions in the SEC are gone. They're still going to have a championship game, but it ain't going to necessarily be the same. There's a lot of tradition that's taken a big hit, and there's nothing you can do about it, because the march to money is basically what's changing everything in college sports, not just college football. By the way, speaking of the rich, Highland Parks are jet rich, brother.
Yeah, it's ridiculous how much money's there, okay? By the way, you can complain about expansion and realignment. You'll love it. In a couple years, you'll be used to it, and it'll be great. This is what's the benefit of realignment, okay? On October 12th this year, Ole Miss at LSU, Florida at Tennessee, Washington and Iowa, which might be an intriguing game, Washington at Iowa, Ohio State at Oregon, Penn State at USC, These are the games you're getting because of realignment.
Oh, yeah.
And these are conference games. These are big games where it means something.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I look at Texas and Oklahoma was also that day, by the way, which will be an SEC game, Texas and Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
These are the games you're getting. So, I mean, I just feel like, look, it's not what it used to be. We all know that. It's not your granddads or your dads or even your brothers.
Right.
SEC, Big Ten, or whatever you want to call it. But it's really good ball. It's good teams playing good teams. And the best part about this is these guys are now desperate for revenue. And the only way they're going to get more revenue is by adding more conference games. So soon the SEC will go to 9 conference games.
Right, giving you the games that the eyeballs want to see. That makes us all get geared up. Why are you so fired up for Aug 31? Because it's a big dang ball game. Okay, now maybe against a couple of teams sub 500, but whatever. It's a big dang ball game. And so when you have more and more of those, then more and more people are going to build their Saturdays around their college football slate. It's already hugely popular.
Right.
We know that.
It's
but
also
now more.
And I get that the SEC wants to go in new footprints like the state of North Carolina and the state of Virginia. But at the end of the day, if in a year, like let's say Miami goes 10-2 or 11-1 this year and gets in the playoff, you think the SEC is just going to say no to them?
Yeah.
Right?
I don't think so. No.
Well, it's a brand new era now. We're talking about it's all about how much revenue can you produce.
Yeah. And by the way, you can have hurt feelings, and let's just use Florida and Florida State as an example.
Right.
When Florida would say, no, we do not want.
It's not just that. It's Kentucky and Louisville. It's South
Right.
Carolina and Clemson. You think South Carolina's going to keep Clemson out? If the SEC's in a situation where they can expand and add a property like that, because now it's more than just a football team. It's a property.
And they already play each other. All right, real quick. I got to give you the number. I actually inflated the number of 1,000-yard receivers for the Jacksonville Jaguars through 29 years of existence as they celebrate their 30th year coming up. I'll give you them coming up here in just a second.
Was it closer to my 4?
Well, no, I just gave him a little too much credit, just a tick too much credit. So we'll hit those coming up in just a second. But also off the text line, Kettles make the best smoked barbecue.
They do.
Everything from butts, ribs, sausage, brisket, they turn out fantastic. That's from one of our texters. Look, I know everyone's getting geared up for some good barbecue and can't wait to see what we got tomorrow with a little 1010XL 4th of July cook-off. It is a Mocama Beer Company Monday right here on XL Primetime. Hang out with us. Joe C., Matt Hayes, Big Searcy, and we got Casey in for RJ Saunders, who's enjoying a little vacay.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Summer Sun. Get the summer feeling on Jacksonville's Summer Station. 1010XL. 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and summer's here on the First Coast. You know, long days, short sleeves, and soaring temperatures that can do a number on your AC. Look, if you've heard me say it once, you've heard it 1,000 times. Hope is not a plan. So do what I did and plan ahead with expert AC tune-ups from Fenwick Home Services to avoid those costly summer breakdowns. Fenwick has you covered with same-day service, including maintenance plans, free same-day estimates, and guaranteed repairs. Book your expert tune-up today and avoid costly breakdowns tomorrow. Plan ahead instead of hoping for the best. Online at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren Brooks here from Helmets and Heels for Big Chief Tire. And if you're looking for quality tires that won't break the bank, they've got you covered. With 5 convenient locations around town, Big Chief keeps Jacks rolling. Right now, they're offering $50 off a new set of tires. It's the perfect time to upgrade before you hit the road for summer vacation. Head over to BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 today to take advantage of this incredible deal. That's Big Chief Tire, 904-932-0950.
What's more American than grilling out for the 4th of July? Check out SouthernSteerButcher.com or our social media channels for all of our 4th of July specials running June 29th through July 7th.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loans, and personal loans. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value's way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. So call now, 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508, or go to loanpronto.com. NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 1st, 1951, future Hall of Fame pitcher Bob Feller of the Cleveland Indians pitches his 3rd career no-hitter, beating the Detroit Tigers 2-1.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and now that you have Honda boats on the showroom floor, tell them about the big boat sale.
We are excited. We got a big sale, 11th through 13th. You want to come on down, see us in person. Some of our boats are going to be up to $30,000 off.
Up to $30,000 off?
$30,000 in savings. It's a big sale event.
So they can start shopping online at cyclesofjacksonville.com. The size of the boats?
Anywhere from 19 to 24 foot, all with legendary Honda outboards.
Honda and Coach, check them both out on Atlantic near Regency. Cycles of Jacksonville.
The coolest thing going on right now is the summer fan sale with 3 ways to save at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Browse their huge selection of high-quality fans to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Buy 1 fan, save 10%. Buy 2, save 15%. Buy 3 or more and save 20% off summer pricing on all fans. Visit their showroom near the avenues while inventory is still available and discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
International soccer returns this summer. Don't miss Premier League clubs, Wolves and West Ham in Jacksonville for the Stateside Cup, July 27th at Everbank Stadium. Tickets as low as $35 at statesidecup.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, I got to give Brian Windhorst credit because he said it was going to happen way before the fireworks were being set off 4th of July night. I thought this might take a little bit of time. Klay Thompson, they were talking about maybe LeBron might take a pay cut so he could come to L.A. Well, a 3-year, $50 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks as part of a sign and trade that is per Woj of ESPN. Now, is that enough? Because defensively, they didn't do a whole hell of a lot against the Boston Celtics. Is Klay Thompson bringing any more defense to the Mavs?
No. They just figured they got to outscore everybody they play because they were atrocious against the Boston Celtics in the championship game. But you got you another arsenal, another weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah, to go along with Luka and Kyrie.
He's still just a little long in the tooth That's why he's only getting the 3-year, $50 million deal.
Was he 34? Plays what?
He's just been through 2 significant injuries.
True.
And
numbers are down this year.
Yeah.
A little bit from the last couple of years.
Yeah. He's
17.
still a productive player.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
Splash Brothers no more, huh? That was fun to watch. I'm not going to lie.
It was, as much as I hated them,
yeah, I did
they
too.
were something else.
They were special.
And who was it? Mark Jackson, when he was the coach, he said it and he meant it. Or as Stan Van Gundy may have been making some stuff up a few weeks ago when he called Luka and Kyrie the best. Mark Jackson said it way back when. That's the best shooting tandem in NBA history at the guard position.
Yeah, I wouldn't throw Clay out too quickly either, man. I think he's still got a couple years left in him.
He just doesn't look like...
He can shoot, though.
Yeah, he can shoot, but, I mean, come on. He's not...
Which is what the Mavs are desperate for.
Yeah.
Desperate for a shooter.
But they're also desperate for defense, is my point.
Yeah.
Right, of which he plays none.
Yeah. So that would be...
Their 3 star players play 0 defense.
Yeah, so let's just add him to the Luka equation of not playing defense, which is just classic. All right, real quick. I said I may have just overdone the number of 1,000-yard wide receiving seasons individuals for the Jacksonville Jaguars. There have been 18 seasons of 1,000-yard receiving, okay? But I said 8 individuals, only 7 individuals have had 1,000-yard receiving seasons for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Just to give them to you in order of the most yardage, Jimmy Smith, 1,636 receiving yards. He is at the top. And that was when you were wearing 72. That was back in 1999 when you guys made it to the AFC Championship game. Next guy, Allen Robinson, 1,400 yards when Blake Bortles, the boat, was throwing it to him, and he was throwing for 4,000, and A-Rob had 1,414 scores.
And those were all, catch-up yards, basically.
Yeah, probably. The Jimmy Smith 1,636 in 1999, much more meaningful, maybe, than A-Rob's 1,400 in 2015. And then the next handful of top performances, individual seasons, are Jimmy. Then the next one is Keenan McCardell, 1,207 yards. That came in 2000. Then a couple more Jimmys, then a couple of more Keenans, 3 more Keenans, in fact. And now you're down to the last handful of guys that have had 1,000-yard receiving seasons for this football team. So I've only named 3, correct? Jimmy, A-Rob, and Keenan. Christian Kirk, 1,108 yards. Allen Hurns, 1,031 yards.
Just under the tent, that nose, man. Just under that.
Then Jimmy a couple more times. Then Calvin, 1,016.
That's right.
And DJ Chark got it inched over at 1,008 in 2019. So there you are. That's it.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
30-year history.
Not a whole lot of productivity.
Not a lot.
And again, if you have 30 years or coming up on 30, and you only have 8 guys that have broken the 1,000-yard mark in receiving, then that's a positional concern. And that means quarterbacks have really been challenged to have enough playmakers out there making plays for them. And that's why they went out and got Brian Thomas Jr. We all know it, to try and give Trevor that one more much-needed weapon. He's a tall cat that can run, that can go up and high point a ball. Look at the number of touchdown catches he had in an LSU uniform. Those were a number of big-time throws from Jaden Daniels around in the red zone around the goal line. That's where it happened, and that's where you want BT.
He's been a very productive and dynamic college receiver the last year and 4 games, 5 games, no doubt about it. 100%. His trajectory is kind of like with Malik Neighbors, very similar. Malik Neighbors had a little better 2022 than
it's so funny. Malik was shot out of a cannon because Boutte had a crappy start.
Had the problems.
Yeah, he had a crappy start to his 2022 year, and that's where Malik really was shot out of a cannon.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not saying he's not going to be a productive receiver for the Jaguars. I'm not saying he couldn't be an elite one, because he could. He absolutely could. My whole argument with it is you would have had a clear one, an ascending player who's done it at the highest level and has shown he can do it at the highest level, where you don't know what you got right now. And I guess that's the nature of the draft, obviously. So it's a crapshoot in any position, any time. But if you've got someone there, and they've shown in the past that they were very good at selecting receivers, be it a tight end and be it a receiver, to improve your roster, yeah, I mean, why not pull that plug again?
But could the Jaguars have done another $90 million deal and still get Trevor signed to what he?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
That's a lot of money, bro.
Because there's also two or three other big price tag pieces that they have that they'll have to pay.
Right.
It all adds up. Doesn't mean they can't come up with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've seen other teams scratch your head how the Philadelphia Eagles are coming up with the money that they're coming up with to pay as many guys as they've paid. Howie Roseman's figured
Everyone
it out.
else does it.
He got Devonta and A.J. Brown paid, and Jalen Hurts last year, along with a few other guys that they've gotten.
Well, the Dolphins have Tyreek Hill and Waddle paid, and they're getting ready to pay Tua.
Yeah, and don't think for a moment, well, they haven't paid him yet, and don't think for a moment that Tyreek isn't paying attention, and he still has made it known that he'd like to have a little bit more. He only got it a couple years ago, and he'd still like to have a little bit more. Not shocking.
Yeah, his agent.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, it is true, Rosenhaus. Yeah, we should not be shocked at all.
Not shocked at all.
All right, so let's welcome the quarterback whisperer. We're going to talk about at least where the guys are at, the highly drafted ones, the 5 that went in the first. Gosh, how quickly did they come off the board? 5 in the first 12?
12, yeah.
Something like that, crazy. Anyway, we'll talk about them a little bit. But then we posed this question to Denny Thompson, our quarterback whisperer, off mic last week. And it was just a nice trending subject on X. Greatest college quarterbacks of all time. Of all time. So start thinking about it, and we'll throw some numbers at you because there's some impressive ones when you think about either one season or a college career. It's worth getting into with our quarterback whisperer coming up on XL Primetime.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. The Gators, the Knowles, the Dogs, and the Canes. College football starts and ends here. 1010XL. 10XL. 10XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Want a one-stop shop when it comes to commercial or residential construction? Then pick Preferred Builders. They should be high on your list. Over 70 years of construction experience combined with exceptional product and service warranties. They've got a team ready to tackle any size project. In fact, they built their business in Duval by offering superior work at reasonable prices, and reputation over time means something. Honest and knowledgeable, reliable and responsive. Be sure and put Preferred Builders into your game plan for your next construction project. That's Preferred Builders.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
Hi, I'm David Lane, your average everyday Joe. I'm 5 months out of my back surgery with Southeast Orthopedic, and I'm doing great. Thanks to Dr. Herford and his staff at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Daily
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey folks, this is Mike Dempsey with a message from Paige and her entire Awaken 180 team. They want to wish all of our 1010XL listeners a happy and healthy Independence Day week. Having a party? Find your free recipes at Awaken 180 on all social media channels.
If the Florida heat is getting you down and you're sweating up a storm, fire up a phone call to Florida Home AC and order an AC tune-up. It's the best way to beat the heat and keep your AC unit working at peak performance. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com for their tune-up special and make sure you're primed for the peak of that heat. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and just a phone call away at 777-4300. Order that tune-up today.
This is Molly McDonald with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Local Sports Update. Brought to you by First Coast Honda Dealers. Following the Stadium of the Future proposal getting approved by the City Council, Jaguars President Mark Lampy joined Jaguars senior writer John Ogier on the Ozone podcast and reflected on the relief he has with the deal getting done.
A sense of relief, and that relief comes from certainty. You know, where we all know where we're going to be working for the next 30 years. You know, we know that the one thing that could have created the biggest issues for this franchise has now been taken off the table, and anxious to get to work to deliver on what should be a very, very special project. We've been working on it for quite some time in earnest for the last 4 years. Actually started the discussion back in 2016, 8 years ago, and are pleased that we were able to get to the finish line and do it without a lot of angst.
It's 88 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama. Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Sound and security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3. All right, our dude is in the house, Denny Thompson. As we talk quarterbacks with him, we bring up the topic of the greatest quarterback of all time in college football history, and it could come with any number of, qualifiers, disclaimers, whatever it might be, but we figured the quarterback whisperer might chime in on that, as well as the Manning Passing Academy. Denny, how are you, man?
I'm good, man. Fresh from Thibodaux.
So you went to Nichols State?
Thibodaux, Louisiana, boys. That's where it's at.
Now, did you
That's
have
where
to?
it's at, Leon.
All right.
Go ahead and book you a flight.
They gave you a po' boy?
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah,
crawfish?
Yeah, of course.
Nice.
I'm from that area. But, yeah, go ahead and book you a little staycation in Thibodaux.
Yeah, you're from that area, and there's a reason you got out, okay? And with apologies to Big Vic, my neighbor, who has a family traveling from New Iberia in for the 4th, Babette and them are coming in. Did you have to kill a gator before you could leave?
No, I did not. No. And in fact, I don't even remember seeing water now that I think about it. But, yeah, it was an interesting spot.
Yeah, you don't need to see a gator, or you don't need to see water to kill a gator.
Yeah, that's true.
You might be able to just find them in a ditch.
But, man, I mean, they do a great job at that camp. I'd never been. And it's the Manning Passing Academy, and they say, its foundation is a youth camp. But then they, over the years, have pulled the best college quarterbacks in to be counselors, and then they have a couple throwing sessions, and they just all get to spend 3 or 4 days together, pick the Manning's brains because they're there the whole time. So I think it's a pretty cool thing, man.
I would think that when you're looking at it, if you go high school, college, and pro, and you get a battery of either potential stars, Leon, like you've run camps where you help kids and whatnot. But if you got potential stars, and then you got budding stars, and then you got superstars, that's a pretty good, pretty good spotlight.
Yeah, but if you're a young kid, you're a sponge. Mm-hmm. I mean, you got all this knowledge and wisdom that's in front of you, but you definitely want to embark on it. You want to be around those type of guys if you want to get to that level, especially if you're young.
It's that kind of camp. It's not like a showcase camp. You're not seeing 4 and 5 stars around there in high school. It's exactly what Leon said. It's the family that's grown up loving the Mannings, and Carson Beck's there this year, and we're a Georgia fan or whatever, and so they bring their kid into town. So it's a little different in that aspect. It's kind of refreshing, actually.
So it's not like the Steve Clarkson camp where you've got all the 5-star quarterbacks out there and
nothing
and
like
some
that.
of those younger guys.
No. I mean, they had 24 fields going.
24?
Dude, it was wild. Yeah.
They have 24 fields at Thibodeau?
Yeah, they made them. They made 20. They had a lot of parking lots, a lot of green grass out there.
Wow. And so these kids are from the 8th grade to the 12th grade. And if you talk about it, let's see here. Groups of more than 45 college quarterbacks warming up with the deep ball challenge. And so they brought them in from, everywhere, including Carson Beck, which was one of the reasons you were there, Denny. But I would think everyone's just trying to soak up the knowledge. Is that basically what they're doing?
That's what it is. Carson enjoyed, I'm going to speak for him on this because I was with him all day yesterday afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
He loved the coaching aspect of the kids. Loved it. I wish I could have just done that the whole time. But then he got a chance to meet Bill Belichick and have conversation with him and Matt Patricia and, of course, all the Manning clan and all that. So it's I mean, and those 4 years go fast, boys. And this is, you get to see all those guys you kind of came up with, possibly one more time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of those guys you're not going to see again. They're not going to make it in the league. So it's a little bit of that as well.
Did he get time to pick the brain of Eli or Peyton or?
Yeah. I mean, I think he spent time with all of them. Carson's all about ball. And so anytime you can get him around people and he grew up, that was who he was number 18 in high school because of Peyton. So anytime you get him around that, I know he thought it was pretty cool that they exchanged phone numbers.
Nice.
It was a big moment for him. So it was a fun weekend.
Yeah, if you can pick the brain, by the way, you got to tell the Peyton Manning story because it always makes me laugh. Pro Bowl, it's just the best because, this guy is just aware of everything.
What? So I'm at the Pro Bowl. I'm on the bus, right? So I'm in the back of the bus, and there's this guy sitting in front of me. And the whole time he's in front of me, I'm saying, who is this person with this big freaking head? All right. So and I'm saying it to myself, but while I'm interacting with all the other guys on the bus and stuff like that, whatever. So I finally get up and get off the bus, and I look to my right, and there's Peyton Manning, and he says to me, "Hey, you're Leon Searcy, right?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, if I had 5 of you, I'd come to this thing every year." So I felt like a heel, bro, because I'm behind him on the bus, just clowning him. Yeah, I'm clowning him. I was like, who is this big head joker in front of me? And then he stops me and he compliments me, man, and I just feel like a heel afterwards.
I mean, that whole family, though, is just, it's football royalty, yes, but you get around them and they're hysterical. The whole family needs a reality show. Man. Yeah, it's just... So it kind of has that vibe to the weekend.
Eli is completely underappreciated compared to Peyton with his humor, but he got a great delivery, subtle delivery, and then Cooper.
Cooper may be the funniest of all of
them.
Yeah, he is absolutely hysterical. So
speaking of Cooper, was his son there and was he throwing it around?
Arch was there.
How'd he look?
Yeah, he looked good. He's a big boy.
Yeah, he is.
He's a big boy. That's the first time I'd seen him in person. He looks good. I was telling Joe, the one that I came away, he spends it.
There's no doubt about that.
And by the way, in the name of UCF is where I saw him and loved watching him. And obviously he will play in 3 different uniforms. And I don't know how many games, if he'll come close to Duckbow's 60, 61 starts.
He'll be close.
He'll come close.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, this dude can sling it.
Oh, he was fun to watch. He's got he moves a little differently too. You can tell he's got a quiet confidence to him. He's, seems super secure with everything going on, and he just does his own thing, man. That's the interesting thing when you see 60 of these guys. Mm-hmm. It's like, who sticks out just in the way they walk out there, the way they, handle themselves throughout the drill, and he is definitely one. Yeah, man, he is definitely one that you're like, yeah, that guy's a superstar.
He can throw a deep ball now, man.
Yeah, it's a thing of beauty.
All right, so I don't know all these names, or how much interaction you might have had with any of them. But anyway, Jackson Dart shows up. He's pretty fired up about what Lane and Ole Miss represents.
Carson's roommate, actually.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Who were the roommates?
I don't even know.
Oh, okay.
I know it was Jackson, and I think it was a kid from Delta State.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't remember the other.
Jackson's a big dude now.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He spins it too.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a good player.
DeQuan Finn from Baylor was another one of the guys that they were loving on. Quinn, of course. I don't know whether or not Arch is going to see the field because Quinn Ewers has got a chance.
Did you see Quinn throw the ball?
Yeah. I've seen Quinn throw it a lot.
He doesn't have the Arch's arm is better than his, right?
I don't know. Quinn's just so smooth with it.
Right.
It's just so effortless. He looks smaller to me than he has in the past. Like he looked.
Okay, so here's the ultimate question. Okay, Arch Manning, we all know was either the number 1 or number 2 recruit 2 recruiting seasons ago. Goes to Texas. Remember, Florida, Georgia, all these other schools were on him. They didn't get him anyway. He doesn't do anything. Sits on the bench. Quinn Ewers and them, they take off, make it to the college football playoff, and then he's ready to sit again.
Man,
and you're saying he's a big cat. Quinn ain't big.
It's okay. It's okay.
So what is it?
It's okay. He's fine. He's like Carson. When you know you're that guy, you can wait. Like you just continue to get better every single day. You don't have to panic. Only worry in your world is you. And where can you go when you're going to have those same weapons and everything else, man? No,
that's rare.
Yeah, it is rare, but it's true.
Rare,
it's
man.
true. Like that's the thing. It's like if you're that guy, and you know when my time comes, I'm 1 and done or 2 in the number 1 pick, however it wants to go, then you can be patient if you're in a good situation. Where's he going to go? It's a better situation.
Well, I don't know, but I guess if I'm hearing the name Manning and he's not beating the other guy out, then that would be.
Well, to be fair, the guy he hasn't beaten out
really
a year
good.
early was the number 1 overall recruit and was one of 2 players to ever receive a perfect score as a recruit.
Yeah,
he and Vince Young.
Yeah, he is a tough guy.
It's refreshing, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, I mean, Carson Beck. I mean, back-to-back natties. I mean, no need to go anywhere. Your time is going to come. I know it had to be hard, though, especially with the guy in front of you winning national champion. It couldn't have been easy, especially if you win the natties.
And it's what's so crazy is you can't say, wait a minute, why is 5-star not beating out Walk-On? Well, Walk-On had a pretty good command of what he was doing.
Yeah,
in Stetson.
Yeah. Man, Stetson.
He really did.
Like
he wasn't a Walk-On.
No, but you get what I'm saying. In other words, he had he was a craftsman. You're not gonna beat him out.
Yeah, I mean, I just think there's certain situations that when you get in them, you know the offense really well, you know the school really well. You're about to graduate, and man, I got dudes around. And if I go somewhere else, I'm gonna have to relearn an offense. I'm going to relearn a school. They may not let my credits transfer. There's a lot that goes into it. I think if you're that guy, man, just chill.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great situation if it works out for him, but we use Dylan Gabriel as an example. He's going to be a star on 3 different stages. That is pretty good. Wherever he's gone, he's won the position. He's beaten out the other guys, and he's also won big ball games.
Yeah.
This is also last year of sitting for him. He's not sitting after that.
Absolutely.
I mean, if something weird happens and Quinn, has a great season, but then blows his knee out and decides, God, I hate even saying that. And he's not going to the draft, and he comes back. Arch is not sitting again. This is it.
Listen, here's the other thing, too, man. This new playoff, you can lose one, right?
Yeah.
Man, you start losing that second. There's a lot of money in this thing now, especially at Texas. I mean, short hook.
Yeah.
And you look at, Caleb and Spencer Rattler is the exact same situation. Right? And then if you're just ready to take your opportunity and just run with it and say he's not getting back on the field, then, man, just be ready.
Which is what he did.
Yeah.
Caleb, which we'll find out how he does on the next level, but he went in there and said, you give me the shot, I'm going to keep this job.
Yeah.
And Spencer, he didn't have to tuck tail, but he had to leave.
Right.
To get a chance to play.
But also, to be fair, there's also plenty of instances where guys transfer and blow up, like Jaden Daniels,
sure,
like Baker Mayfield. So it's all. I mean, there's positives
but those
about
guys
each
didn't
way.
come from like a Texas or a Georgia you know what I mean? Those guys upgraded when they transferred. I just don't know how you upgrade from a Texas.
Oh, because that roster, the only place you're going where it would be an upgrade would maybe be Ohio
Alabama.
State. Yeah, this
Ohio
year
State?
I'm talking about with the
Alabama.
Yeah. Listen, what I'm hearing, what are you hearing? Because I'm hearing that they are crushing it when it comes to recruiting.
They're crushing recruiting right now. They are, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, Texas, pretty successful last year.
Oh yeah, they've got.
Yeah.
I mean, they got an elite play caller there.
Yeah, I agree.
A ton of resources. I don't know. I think if you're out of Georgia and you think you're that guy, and you're out of Texas and you think you're that guy, and nothing's flown off the tracks. It's just the guy in front of you is doing pretty well.
Right.
Just chill.
What if you're at USC and you think you're that guy? Same thing?
Yeah, I think so. I think with that staff.
So how many would you say like there's like a handful of programs where
Ohio
you're staying
State.
no matter what?
Ohio State, LSU. I mean, all the programs that recruit really, really well and have good offensive coaches. I just don't know how you're going to upgrade from things like that.
So you think Nuss sitting at LSU was the right move?
Absolutely. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Riley Leonard was another one of the guys there.
Oh, I liked him.
And I'm a big fan of this kid.
Yeah.
And he'll go from Duke with what Mike Elko was able to do, which I give Elko credit because he was a defensive guy, but they ran some good offense there.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he goes up to Notre Dame and
No, I liked him a lot. I had not seen him previously. He's bigger than I thought. Yeah, he's smooth.
Good personality.
Good player. Good player. Yeah, great athlete.
All right. What about a couple of the other guys? Did you check out Garrett Nussmeier?
Yeah.
He's one that we've kind of debated whether he'll be successful under Brian Kelly.
I've known Garrett since Garrett was like a sophomore when they were in Gainesville. And he's got something to him. He's
little moxie, right?
Oh, a ton for days, right? So I mean, he's out there in his LSU garb, which is smart because you're in Louisiana. Everybody else is wearing Manning Passing Academy.
Yeah.
He's in the purple, right? And he spins it, man. He spins it really well, and everybody knows he comes from a football family. So I anticipate a really good year.
Yeah, I'm looking at seeing a few of these other guys. Connor Weigman is a guy.
That's my guy right there.
Yeah, love him.
The dark horse right there.
That's kind of the reason why Jimbo got fired. Because if he's healthy, it's a different team, a completely different team at Texas A&M.
I know if you're on YouTube and you're watching us and you kind of see our excitement when we bring up a name, how many names have we rattled off? We haven't said Cam Ward yet, but anyway, we've rattled off 8,
5 or
9,
6
10 guys.
Yeah.
Is this going to be one of the best quarterback classes? And by the way, we just had 5 drafted in the first 12 picks.
I think it's the new norm. I just think there's so many good quarterbacks right now that it plays itself out, right? I mean, you can only have so many guys in the NFL, but you can have a lot in college, man. And there's a lot of good ball players right now.
The game is about quarterbacks.
Yeah.
The game is about whether you like it or not. The game is about quarterbacks. What about Will Howard? Was he there?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see much of him. I mean, I was sitting up in the stands, and there's 60 of them all throwing, so you have to really point out. I was looking for certain guys, but
go ahead, man.
No, I was going to ask you, I mean, the reason why there's been such a run of quarterbacks in the NFL the last couple of years is because, quite frankly, these NFL teams aren't waiting for these guys to develop anymore.
That's right.
They're running them in and running them out. I mean, they get some get 2.5 years, some get 2 years, and if they don't show that they're the guy immediately, they move on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I don't know. When we keep having classes like we keep having quarterback-wise, then teams are going to constantly think that I can go get the next guy. But I think that's a flawed model. I honestly think I wish that they would carry more quarterbacks, like 4 quarterbacks per team, and allow for some development there. Like I think that's the model we need. This is a hard position, man. It's a hard position. There's not a lot of guys that in the first 2 years can go in there and just make it work.
They might have to. Like when they go to 18 games, they might have to do that. Expand the quarterback.
I mean, I think if it's the most important sport position in the biggest sport in the country, like you want to make sure you have enough of them, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know what it would hurt, and there's plenty of quarterbacks that kind of get left out that are really good players that just needed a little bit more time.
All right, real quick, and then we'll start to maybe look ahead to, or actually look back with that historical question we threw at you, the best quarterback in college history. But I saw this over the weekend, and it was Odell Haggins as the interim coach up at FSU when the transition was taking place. Anyway, TJ Pittinger did a throwback tweet on it, and he said 4.5 years ago, Odell was the interim coach. His quote on Jordan Travis: he came to Florida State knowing that, hey, I'll probably be on the 3rd team, but that kid's going to be a leader for this team one day. I'd say Odell nailed this one. And just think about that. 4.5 years, the journey for Jordan Travis from the time he started up in Tallahassee and then ultimately led him to a perfect season.
Let's also be honest. He wasn't an elite quarterback.
No, he was not
so he
at
needed
all.
to stay and develop.
Yeah. I mean, I saw his first couple spring practices. It wasn't great. But elite human being, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
100%.
amazing. I've gotten to know him through draft prep, and now you look at him throw. and the way he plays the game, because playing the game of football is not a problem for him. It's like, man, this guy's got starter potential. And I think he landed in the perfect spot in New York.
I'll never forget that he said it, told Rick Ballou and I at ACC kickoff that he goes, I am a thrower, but the way things were working in Tallahassee, I had to run the football. Yeah. I had to improvise. There wasn't a whole hell of a lot going on. And Eric Kresser was his old high school coach. Yeah. And he says, we threw it all over the lot.
Yeah. Listen, that performance on the Friday night game against Florida.
Yeah. Oh, my
I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Just that tells you what kind of football player that guy is.
Plus, he's still got, there's a lot of space between where he is and his ceiling.
Absolutely.
Right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he improvised his fanny off when he needed to, when plays broke down there. All right, so think about this. And I looked at all you guys when I was bringing this up. You can do it any way you want. Greatest season, greatest quarterback in college football history.
Which do you want?
You might have to give us one of each.
All right.
Okay?
Sure.
Season and career. All right? So think about that coming up. We'll do it with the Quarterback Whisperer on Mokama Beer Company Monday. It is XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. This is 1010XL.
I had a dream
to bring Jacksonville Sports Radio true.
Awesome.
1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. Look, I depend on South State for so many things: personal accounts, small business banking, and banking for our nonprofit. South State Bank can help you reach all your financial goals too, whether you're just starting out or focused on financial planning. South State offers convenience with their online and mobile banking. You should check out South State Bank, as they were recently recognized by Forbes as one of America's best banks. That's South State, banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
Tired of dealing with clogged drains? What about bad smells coming from your pipes? You need to call Duck Duck Rooter, your plumbing pros in Northeast Florida. Duck Duck Rooter can help with any plumbing issue at your home or business. DuckDuckRooter.com.
At Hodges Mazda, we are proud of our solid reputation in the Jacksonville community. Lauren Brooks here. As your hometown Mazda dealer, our high customer service standards and our huge inventory of new and used cars provide our customers a consistently first-rate car buying experience. Our professional non-commissioned sales team always puts your best interests first. Plus, every vehicle purchase comes with 2 years free maintenance. What Mazda moves you? Find out. Visit Hodges Mazda today or shop online at HodgesMazda.com to discover the Hodges Mazda difference.
Raid wants to know, what would you do if you could confidently face every day knowing you and your loved ones are protected? Would you sing along to your favorite song at the top of your lungs? Turn off the GPS and let your heart do the guiding. Go to the drive-thru and order one of everything. Feel the buzz of confidence of knowing you are protected with 65 years of insect science in your hands. Raid. Protection for everyone.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. Call 904-722-1111.
Instant Keys saves the day if you've lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call Instant Keys, 722-1111.
Spend lunchtime with the ladies.
A meal and sparkling conversation.
Helmets and heels.
Mia O'Brien, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl.
Just behave, okay?
Switched on by First Coast Lighting and Fans on 1010XL.
Hey, sports fans, this is Hayes Carlyon from MyBookie. Look, we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino canceled because real life came calling. Well, MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. I love the live casino. The roulette is awesome. It's so easy and so much fun. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin, just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action is in your hands. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL, and a revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. So sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win. Only with MyBookie.
This is Keith Catlin for Catlin Truck Accessories, and we are so blessed to be in business for over 100 years. Over 100 years of the best product and customer service means you can count on Catlin. From roll-and lock bed covers to Lear toppers to cam locker toolboxes, Catlin Truck Accessories has you covered when it comes to your truck or van. We do those too. Got a fleet of vehicles? We can outfit them all.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
One name, one location, 100 years. You can count on Catlin.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Tired of changing out bad sod year after year? Get it done right with Roundtree Sod. Big or small, they have it, and always supplied farm fresh. For a lush, legendary green lawn, call 7414-SOD for a free estimate. 7414-SOD.
Staying active no matter what your age is key to living life at its fullest. And Rebound Rehabilitation wants you to know they can get you back up to speed and back in the game pain-free. Rebound Rehabilitation with 8 locations across the First Coast, top-of-the-line therapists ready to assist you. From neck and back pain, knee or foot pain, they can help. Excellent patient care combined with the highest quality in rehabilitation services. Look for a Rebound Rehab location near you and get back in the game. Log on. ReboundRehab.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Tebow drills it. Caught. Lewis Murphy. That's 26 consecutive games in which Murphy has caught a pass. That's a quick pickup of 13. Blitz threatened, blitz coming. Toss. There's the option play you talked about, Gary, and it's good with Demps around the corner and to the
30. Well, he was a one-man wrecking crew. There's no doubt about it. Timmy T would definitely be in the conversation. Greatest college quarterback of all time. The list is long. You start adding it up. But we've got our quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson, hanging out with us for one more seg, so we figured we'd throw it at him. Joe C., Matt Hayes, Big Leon Searcy, and Casey filling in for RJ with Saunders on vacation this week. So you're looking at the Tebow 20 rushing touchdowns, 20 throwing touchdowns was rare air. Okay, had not been done. And obviously he wins the Heisman even with a middling record that year. But there are so many other great quarterbacks, Denny.
Oh, there's a ton.
Gosh.
Yeah,
would you put him at the top, or would you say, wait a minute?
I would. I would. That's my first go-to is Tebow, just because I watched every game. Like the style that he played, and just how good that team was, and how much fun the offense was to watch. So from a career perspective, yeah, I think mine would be Tebow.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
that's. I know. I mean, as quickly as I say that, you start thinking about other guys. But yeah, I mean,
I have no problem with it.
Off jump, yeah, Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, of course you'd want to have a problem.
Of course. But single season.
I want to hear. I'm interested in Leon, though, like career-wise.
As far as the greatest quarterback?
Yeah.
It would be Tommy Frazier and Tebow.
Mm-hmm. Tommy Frazier's a good one.
Yeah, Tommy Frazier's definitely
he was extraordinary.
But Tebow, the numbers that he put up, SEC breaking right, 55 touchdowns in the season, that kind of stuff, winning the Heisman on a I wouldn't say subpar season.
Right, but it was an 8-4 club.
Yeah, 8-4 club, whatever. I mean, I have no problem. The Miami in me has no problem putting T-Boy in there.
There's some really good quarterbacks. Like Matt Leinart had an unbelievable
The Joey Burrow single season is hard.
That was going to be my single. Yeah, without question.
It's like I go Timmy at the top, but that single season of Joey is some kind of good.
How do you ignore Cam Newton? What he did on that?
Well, I'm not ignoring
average
it.
team.
I'm not ignoring
with
it.
the whole NCAA deal with his dad. Wanting $150,000 from Mississippi. That all coming out.
Now, here's where I would go with you on that.
You ain't got no proof of that.
Is Cam? Cam.
Let's get him on the phone.
Cam won a national championship. Cam won.
Yeah, he did.
Right. Burrows, yes, they had a unbelievably talented
so many good
team.
players.
It's hard. I agree with you. 60
His
touchdowns,
stats are
man.
insane from that year. His completion percentage, and then when you would watch them play, it was like there was no doubt. I remember the game in the Swamp where it was tied, or the game in LSU against Florida where it was tied at halftime. And I remember sitting there going, Dan Mullen is calling the game of his life, and they're going for it on fourth downs, and every time LSU's answering in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
right. And you just knew there's no way they can keep this up. And he just put that pressure on Georgia, on everybody.
He did.
It was impressive.
You create stress points in the opposition, and that was the essence of the spread, was it not? One more man you got to account for, and that's how it did it. But listen to these names, and I won't name them all. But
Lamar had a great season.
All right, I'm looking at Lamar. Lamar had 9,043 yards, but he had a sub-60 completion percentage. He had 69 touchdowns. 27 picks, but he also had 4,000 rushing yards. People, 4,000 rushing yards.
My God.
In 3 seasons. That's just nuts. Listen to some of these other ones. Baker had a hell of a year in career. Cam, Vince, and these are you don't have to name the last name.
Right.
Timmy, Joe Burrow, Deshaun, Kyler, Lamar, Mariota. You start going down. RG3.
No, I got one for you. Career, Danny Werfel.
Oh, yeah.
Just unreal career.
Yeah.
Let's go back real quick. Let's go back real quick to single season. I'm going to give you these numbers. You guys tell me if you're impressed by these numbers, okay? As a quarterback, he completed 72% of his passes, threw for 3,800 yards, had 40 touchdowns against 4 picks. He also ran for 1,184 yards and 10 touchdowns. Is that any good?
That's hard to believe he ran for that many yards.
That's Jaden Daniels last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I'm telling you, he did not need to go to the combine to be timed for the 40. It was him running past Florida Gators. They could put the clock on him. It was a sub-4.
Yeah.
Okay.
That actually is crazy when you hear it like that.
Yeah.
Those are some numbers.
That's a phenomenal season.
I mean, that's an argument you can have. We could have this argument both career and season for forever, and nobody would be wrong.
Yeah, because I'm looking at RG3, and he had completed more than 2/3 of his passes, 78 touchdowns against 17 picks, had 10,366 yards in 4 seasons, ran for nearly 2,300 yards. Hey, he produced some numbers.
The Tommy Frazier one may be the answer, though.
Yeah, Frazier was. And
without that blood clot, he might win 4 national titles.
24/7 Sports has Case Keenum at number 5. Wow.
Some of those are just the
that's not real.
That's in the words of Spurrier, that's just a dummy.
That's just the classic spread offense that was created.
By the way, speaking of Spurrier, there are many Florida people who will argue about Tebow versus Werfel.
Oh, of course. Why not?
And say that Werfel had the better career than the two.
Yeah. Where's Charlie Ward?
Yeah, great career.
And Jameis. Right. I mean, we even Jameis from a single season. Oh, you could say career.
That was a great.
2 great years.
Yeah. But like Charlie Ward he's got to be in the top 10, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah. It depends on your
for
list.
For that, Wanky had a great career.
Yeah, 24/7 has him at 21. What about Doug Flutie?
Yeah, because those numbers weren't eye-popping for Charlie Ward. And Flutie was...
But in that time, they were. In the time
yeah.
and what he did and how he ran that system. Yeah, golly.
And then to go on and play, 12 years in the NBA?
Oh, yeah.
Just what an athlete.
Vince Young.
We got hosed, by the way, not seen him in the NFL.
Yeah.
We definitely got hosed.
Yep.
Let's see here. Vince Young, when you take a look at his numbers, threw for 6,000, 44 touchdowns, ran for 3,137 touchdowns.
Plus that last the championship year was ridiculous.
Yeah, and then Matt Leinart, nearly 11,000 yards while he was playing at USC for 3 years, 99 touchdowns against 23 picks, basically 2/3 of his pass completions. And then we can go to Johnny.
2 natties and lost another one on the last play of the game.
Oh, yeah. And then we can go to Johnny football.
Yeah.
That might have arguably been one of the greatest single seasons of all time. Well, over a 2-year period, 7,800 passing yards, nearly 70% completion mark, 63 touchdowns, 22 picks, and ran for 2,000.
This is a tough conversation, though, because you read all those stats, but, I mean, we're all at the age where we've seen all these.
Yeah.
Like, some of them are just different. You know, some, I don't know. Like, when I think of Tebow, you can tell me all the stats you want. I know what I saw.
Right, exactly.
Same with Johnny.
Yeah. Same with, and that's where I was going with it. Like, that Manziel year, he did things that's just, I mean, you remembered. It was talked about every single day for 2 weeks straight.
Dude, I remember asking Mike Stoops. We were, like, off the record talking. I said, so what do you do? And he goes, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
Just like that. It doesn't matter what you do.
And I think Cam's season's that same way, right? Cam's season, when you just sat there and watched game after game what he was doing, just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't get that with Leinart. I remember Reggie Bush.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
And that may be wrong. I don't watch a ton of West Coast football, but
it's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
That fourth down throw to Jarrett was pretty good against Notre Dame.
I'm not saying. I just don't get that same feeling I get when I think Manziel.
Yeah, I agree, because there was so much around him there too.
Yeah.
There was
they
Jarrett
were stacked
and White,
football team.
Bush,
absolutely.
Yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, but you start going through some of these other guys. So many of them had masterful performances, either for a single year or for their career. Andrew Luck, we don't talk hardly enough about him, but he was the number 1 pick and was considered, one of the guys that had that generational type of talent when he was coming out. Superb career at Stanford. Deshaun Watson, we don't talk about him hardly at all, but he's the one who got 99 plays off against Alabama when you think about that.
Why isn't Matt Stafford in these?
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, never won. No.
The what?
How about the guy here who won a national title as a freshman?
What about Peyton?
Won a national title as a freshman, then lost to maybe the greatest team in college football history
in
with
2019.
LSU.
Yeah.
And then went to playoff again.
Yeah. And who did you name, Denny?
Peyton.
Yeah. And Peyton's numbers over a 4-year period, they were outstanding.
Yeah.
But as soon as you said his name, I just wanted you to say it just so every Gator fan out there could go, never beat us. just so they could say that real quick.
Taylor might say the other Johnny, Lou Jack.
Yeah. Oh, that would be going back.
The problem with Peyton is the year after he leaves, the next year they win the national title with T. Martin.
Yeah, T. Martin. And
that kind of
coaches knew how to run the ball better than
I agree with you. I totally agree with you. I agree with you. And it was an older team. It was a more experienced team. I get all of that. All I'm saying is that, fair or not, takes away a little bit from his college career, does it not?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just wild that we go all the way through that list, and Peyton was, a 4-year starter, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I would think he should be in the top 10 of that as well.
Nothing louder.
I'll give you another one. Drew Brees had a great career at Purdue.
At Purdue, he did.
Golly.
Nothing louder in the swamp. And you'll experience this, Leon, coming up August 31st. You'll experience this. Nothing louder than when Tony George picked off Peyton and took it back. Nothing louder. It was one of the biggest scees.
Leon's smiling. Leon's getting ready to say, and nothing quieter than when Charlie Ward threw the work done. And
yeah, but then that would mean he would be propping up the Knowles. He's not going down that road. All right, Denny, thank you, man.
Yeah, man.
Enjoyed it as always. You can check out Denny Thompson at Denny_Thompson on X. Of course, 6 points right here, training up those quarterbacks, and they're all fired up and getting ready for this coming season. It is XL Primetime.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
There's a new one-stop shop for all things Jags. Subscribe to the 1010XL Jaguars YouTube channel. One-on-one interviews with players, practice footage, podcasts, and more. If you're looking for the best Big Cat coverage around, look no further. 1010XL Jaguars on YouTube.
Hey folks, Hinkin here for Zero Res. You and I know Zero Res loves cleaning carpets in your home. But did you know Zero Res can also clean the carpets where you work? Take a look at the floors where you work, and if they need cleaning, suggest to the boss they call Zero Res. For the month of July, Zero Res offering 20% off all commercial carpet cleaning. Call Zero Res, and they'll come out and give you a free estimate on what it will take to get the job done. Zero Res, man, you spell it forward. Zero Res, you spell it backward. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
Joe C. for Roland Reese Plumbing, Plumbing Jacksonville. That is the website to go to because they've been plumbing Jacksonville for a long time. We're talking a quarter of a century and counting of experience. And here's what you want. When you have a problem and you need a plumber, you want them to get their stat. When you got a leak and can't wait a week, make sure you get in touch with Roland Reese Plumbing. Just log on plumbingjacksonville.com and know that they're local and they will take care of you. And you want to make sure that you get back to enjoying life without worry. Roland Reese Plumbing, when quality and experience count.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here. Did you take Awaken 180 up on dropping 40 pounds by the 4th of July? If you did, this week you'll reach that goal. So congrats. And if you didn't call Awaken 180, why not do it now? Fast weight loss, easy weight loss, and then free support for life.
Are you tired of having a plain and boring backyard? Really want to impress your family and friends this year? Then stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway. Imagine hosting guests at your new outdoor kitchen, relaxing by your custom-built fireplace under a brand new pergola. Stone Core can also remodel your old pool deck and beautiful new pavers. Make your backyard wishes a reality. Visit Stone Core on Phillips Highway and let's get started at stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Lauren Brooks here from Mayport CNC Fisheries. At my house, we had a feast from Mayport CNC Fisheries with the freshest shrimp around, and it was unbelievable. They also have oysters, scallops, mahi, and so much more. Want to eat like a local? Head to the beach and visit my friends at Mayport CNC Fisheries.
This is Hayes Carline here to help you break free from the chains of pest infestation. The talk of this town is Kingfish Pest Control. By now, many of your neighbors have already joined the Kingfish Revolution, leaving their homes and lawns protected and pest-free. Now it's your turn. Call Kingfish Pest Control and say goodbye to termites, ants, mosquitoes, and other annoying pests. Trust me, you'll get exceptional service and understand why your neighbors and I use Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
The coolest thing going on right now is the summer fan sale with 3 ways to save at First Coast Lighting and Fans. Browse their huge selection of high-quality fans to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Buy 1 fan, save 10%. Buy 2, save 15%. Buy 3 or more and save 20% off summer pricing on all fans. Visit their showroom near the avenues while inventory is still available and discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes at First Coast Lighting and Fans.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On July 1st, 1951, future Hall of Fame pitcher Bob Feller of the Cleveland Indians pitches his 3rd career no-hitter, beating the Detroit Tigers 2-1.
What's more American than grilling out for the 4th of July? Check out southernsteerbutcher.com or our social media channels for all of our 4th of July specials running June 29th through July 7th.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
International soccer returns this summer. Don't miss Premier League clubs, Wolves and West Ham in Jacksonville for the Stateside Cup, July 27th at Everbank Stadium. Tickets as low as $35 at statesidecup.com.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, Prime Men's Medical Center will get your sex life back in just 1 visit. Their painless, breakthrough medical treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Prime Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Prime Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments will restore your sex life regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. Plus, you'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients will have their testosterone checked free. Call 904-902-8222. 904-902-8222. To regain your sex life in just 1 visit, call now. 904-902-8222.
Now that's what I call high quality H2O.
If you want high quality water throughout your home, call your local water boy. We install equipment to solve any water problem. Waterboy JAX. headfirst.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Oh, Branch. That's a great job. What a great job by Zachariah Branch. Freshman to the house. 96 yards. What a great cheat.
So today is July 1st, and the Big Ten officially welcomes all of their conference members in. The SEC does as well. ACC, Big 12, basically a formality. But the Pac-12 also closed everything, and they are no more. They don't recognize anything membership-wise. I love there was somewhere where they had a sale, and I'm a visor man, and they were selling Pac-12 visors for like $2. I was gonna order like 10 of them just as a nice memento of what once was Pac-12 After Dark.
By the way, Casey was sticking it to us with that music and Zachariah Branch. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because he's a USC guy, and USC's now in the Big Ten. But that music will now be Big Ten music.
That's where you're going to hear the music. That is definitely where you're going to hear it. But USC, it's just going to, in the beginning, a few things are going to look weird. Oklahoma and Texas in the SEC, which, by the way, if you want to go back in time, it's hard to imagine. When the news first leaked, it was 2021. And it's taken this long to finally get them in. It's been talked about forever.
Yeah.
Summer of 2021 is when it first came. First, the Matt Hayeses of the world were catching wind of this idea that Oklahoma and Texas were going to sneak off from the Big 12 and come into the SEC.
It's going to be weird seeing, like, Texas playing Vanderbilt, Nashville. It's just going to be weird. Things like that. Like, it'll be odd seeing Oklahoma playing in Lexington. It'll be odd seeing Rutgers playing at USC.
Yeah.
In a conference game. It's just things like that'll be weird. That's all.
A 3,000-plus mile trip.
Right.
But it'll be good to see Georgia play Texas.
Hell yes.
Alabama play Oklahoma.
Yes.
Those games like that, that's going to be special. I'm going to be looking forward to those. For sure.
It's going to be great to see Florida play at Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, it was the longest time Florida would not go west of the Mississippi. Just the way things had scheduled. They just did not get on the road hardly at all west of the Mississippi. You go back to Southern Cal and a few other games that they would go play, but up until going to play Utah, it was like it never happened.
Other than that neutral site game in Dallas.
Yeah, exactly.
Or in Arlington.
Against Michigan. Yeah,
against Michigan.
And so just so few times have they gone out of their region. And now you're going to have all these intruders coming from the outside coming in. But, yeah, you start hearing some of the games, and you rattled off a Saturday in October, which is going to be – it's just going to be great. There's so many good ones. Speaking of so many good ones, round of applause, Casey, if you can find our studio audience and kind of rev them up and give us a round of applause. You ready for this? 10 Sundays left before NFL action. 10 Sundays remain, and then we've got NFL action. That's how quickly it's going to come. And here we are, month of July. And, Leon, this is when you're counting the days that you have left before training camp begins, because the next 2 or 3 weeks, you're probably trying to just soak up some scenery, maybe some suds and some sun, because training camp is only basically 21 days out.
I always remember that this only had 21 days of downtime. Yeah, I tried to enjoy it as best I can.
How quick did that go by?
Man, it went by so fast. Man, next thing you know, I'm riding to Jacksonville. I'm driving to Latrobe, and I got to get into the hotel and check in and all this other kind of stuff and get the itinerary and got team meetings and all this other kind of stuff. And, TC used to put, you had to be at the hotel at a certain time or you got fined. All right. So, I remember I was in Orlando. My house was in Orlando, and I overslept, and I had to ride out to get to training camp so I didn't get fined. TC was right there. He cut you close, Searcy.
Were you in Stevens Point? Were you in Stevens Point?
No.
Okay,
no,
that was
no.
just the first year.
Yeah, that was the first year. No, I'm talking about in '96 when we stayed in the hotels.
Yeah, exactly. Over there on the South Bank.
Yep.
Yeah. Which is something else, man. Golly. That is true. I do remember the hotel that year. And the reason why, you want to know what I remember more than anything else, is Chris Doering was a 6th-round draft pick that year, and Andre Rison was here.
What was that hotel called? The St. John's? What was it called?
It was the Radisson.
Yeah, it was a Radisson. We said the Radisson hotel.
It was the Radisson.
Yeah.
And Chris Doering, I believe, was a 6th-round draft pick, and he was drafted, and Andre Rison was with the team. And so got the throng of media in one of the rooms asking for certain players to be brought in, and Rison has just wrapped up his, and he's walking out, and Chris Doering comes in, and he goes, look, Chris Doering? 6th-round pick? Getting interviewed? He just laughed and walked out. Well, it's because he's a Gator, Andre. Yeah. Okay. Bad Moon. That ain't that hard to figure out.
He might have stuck longer than Bad Moon, right?
Huh?
Doering might have stuck longer than Bad Moon.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, more than likely.
Yeah, but just overall career, yeah. And by the way, did he have a book coming out? Is that what he was doing? What was he up to? You were talking to him.
Yeah, I was talking to him because he was actually one of the presenters at the draft. And and I called him because I saw him one of the presenters, of course, the Barry Moon, dressed to the nine. I said, bro, I saw you on the. Yeah, he was one of the presenters, and
for the Falcons.
It might have. I'm not sure. It might have been for the Falcons. I'm not sure, but I remember nobody loves Bad Moon like Bad Moon. He sent me a picture of him. He said, had someone take a picture of him as one of the presenters, and then he texted to me. Then that's when I saw him, and I called him afterwards. But yeah, he has a book out. Yeah, definitely has a book out.
All right, so let me just hit a few more of these quarterbacks. Because we rattled off a handful of them, had plenty of people on the text line jumping in, and we just started to kind of scratch the surface. And I'm not saying all these guys were great, but Colt McCoy did lead a team to a natty before he got hurt.
Career, yeah.
Kellen Moore, outstanding record out there
career,
on the blue. Sammy Bradford, think about what he did.
Yeah.
Jameis, which was one that Denny mentioned. Jameis, they had 29 wins in a row.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was money for a long time. All you can eat crab
I'll give you
legs.
one. Stetson Bennett.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's why Carson Beck had to basically sit and wait, because Stetson was doing no wrong. Let's see here. A couple more. It's hard. We shouldn't forget what Bryce Young and Tua Tagovailoa and those guys did in a Crimson Tide uniform. C.J. Stroud. Phillip. Remember Phillip?
Yeah.
Remember how good he was for the NC State Wolfpack?
How about A.J. McCarron?
I got one. I'd be remiss if I didn't say Ken Dorsey, who's actually on the ballot for the College Football Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
I just skated over my Miami guy.
Good career.
Yeah.
Solid.
Got a natty.
He got
Should have had two.
Jalen Hurts in Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Russ up in Wisconsin. Pretty dang good.
One season, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that one season.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger, that one season in the MAC.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields, one season. Wasn't it? Or was it two?
40 touchdowns, one pick.
Okay, yeah. So
that one season. He played two there, but that one season.
Yeah, that one season.
Ridiculous.
And then Sexy Rexy needs to get a little recognition. Because he was denied the Heisman in, what was that, 02? 01. And had an unbelievable season that year. So
Who won it that year? Who won it?
Crouch.
Eric
Crouch. Yeah. We destroyed him in that.
That was a
championship game.
Yeah, that was ugly.
It was a
Cornhusker job out there.
Florida for that. All they had to do was beat Tennessee in that home game.
It would have been Miami and Florida in the natty.
And Florida would have beaten LSU in the SEC championship game. They would have played Miami in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah,
well, they got
something.
Yeah, y'all got.
May not have gone your way.
No, y'all got a taste in the Sugar Bowl year before.
May not have.
That may not have gone your way, bro.
We beat them. We beat them a year ago.
I know. I understand that, but they could throw the ball.
Oh, stop.
All right, just a couple more. And this one,
the Canes would have beat him by like 15 in that game.
Well, I'm just going to do one more because this one, as far as one season is concerned, I know he did more than this. But Byron Leftwich, when they're basically grabbing him and running him down the field in that game, and I believe that was the bowl game against East Carolina, wasn't it?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, I
believe. It was a bowl game. I know that.
Yeah. So it was shades of Garrard and Leftwich, two former Jaguar quarterbacks. I believe that's who it was. Anyway.
How about Mike Vick? The 2000 year.
Yeah.
At Virginia Tech. Yeah, just crazy.
Incredible season. So a lot of good ones. We'll probably have a little fun with that as we go along through the month of July. All right, Casey, hit it, my man.
Now the cool down. with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jax cool since '87.
Oh, well, my take is July 1st, so back to the business of ball, baby. Only 21 days away. Training camp. You know, this is when I get myself focused and motivated. I kind of get myself in, like, football mode.
Yeah.
I get to the training and all that other kind of stuff. Kind of like I'm going to training camp. So I love this time of the year. I mean, if you really love the game of football, you know when July hits is right around the corner before our Jags get back to training camp and get themselves ready for a season.
Takeaway?
Yeah, my takeaway is it's a new time, a new era in college football. It's we are now situated how, at least for the moment, where some new horizons we're all looking at, and it's going to get, there'll be even more change down the road. There's no doubt about it. So buckle up.
Yeah, change is coming. In this case, change will be good. My takeaway: Wyatt Langford, former Gator. It is a spring sports university, and he hit for the cycle. So congratulations to Wyatt for getting the job done. That ain't easy to do in the bigs, that's for sure. All right, good time hanging out. We've only got a couple more days before we start to get ready for the 4th of July. Tomorrow, we're going to have our July 4th cook-off right here at 1010XL, so looking forward to that. Thanks to Mocama Beer Company. Don't forget, Tuesday through Sunday, they're serving up great crafts. So if you are one of our visitors here on the First Coast, you're going up and down 95, you're heading up to Fernandina, just head into the historic area, look on South 8th, and you'll see that beautiful tap room. And then also in Wildlight, you can catch either one of their locations or pick them up as you're heading into Total or ABC. Just look for, well, in the craft area, you'll see Mocama, and they've got outstanding craft brews. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Big Searcy, and Casey. You got the Francis Show coming up next.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Ever wonder how Dan and Jeff got hired at 1010XL?
I just got laid off and I'm looking for a job.
The drill.
Hard enough to drag myself out of bed.
Dan Hick